All fair.
Hi.
Hi, we're live on air on YouTube.
Live on YouTube. That sounds perverted already.
Yeah, it covers more. So hey everybody, our special guest this week is Celia from the Little Mamas, who's drinking in her Doctor Who t-shirt. Hey Celia.
Yeah. Hi.
And we have Dina Drew.
Hi,
hey Dina.
Hi, in my PJs.
Are you drinking? Am I the only one drinking?
You know what? I had 2 glasses of wine with dinner, so I'm drinking water now.
So you're done.
Right. It's later there in LA, so yeah, I gotta start now.
And I'm pregnant, which means that I just don't drink on camera.
But I was just saying,
now.
I drink in public.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't drink at all. That's not funny. Shh.
That's not good at all.
No.
So our topic this week is not just sex. It's the sex.
The sex.
Right. The sex. And the reason it's the sex is twofold.
The sex. Right.
Celia calls it the sex. Why do you call it the sex?
Actually, one of my girlfriends thinks I stole it from Friends, and so I just got really curious because Phoebe calls it that on Friends in one episode. I just got curious to see if the dates match, and I Googled it, and it turns out I did not steal it from Friends. My younger sister and I used to, when my mother got remarried to my stepfather, she would still literally walk around in lingerie. She'd come out and check on us in lingerie, and we were teens. And so my sister and I would literally turn to each other and be like, "Oh my God, do you think they're having the sex? Oh my God, we lost Dina. What? See, I offended her already. Great."
She went off to have some sex. I just thought it was funny that you called it that the first time I read a blog where you said that, because when I wrote one of our episodes of Slummy Mummy, I said the same thing. So great minds think alike.
Great minds. I mean, it's funny when you title it, I think.
Yeah, it's like a thing because it's such a big thing, right? It's not just sex anymore, especially now that you have to find a time to do it and find the energy. It's the sex.
Oh, even on our wedding day, because my husband and I decided we would abstain for I think we only made it 2 weeks. I think we'd set it out to be a month, that we were oh, we're gonna abstain from having sex for a month before we get married, and then we didn't make it that long. It only was 2 weeks. Hi, Dina. And
hi,
so
sorry.
we would. Oh, it happens. Yeah. So my husband and I would refer to it as our wedding night. We were oh my God, and then we'll get to have the sex. We had never done it before our wedding night.
Right.
That, I think that's what we finally get to have the sex. We'd been together for forever before. Anyways, it didn't matter.
By the time I got married, I think we had lived together over 7 years, maybe. A lot of years we had lived together, so obviously the sex had been happening. And I just remember by the time we got to the B&B at the end of, the festivities, and we were so tired, and we both were looking at each other, and we were kind of you want to wait till the morning to have sex? I know it's our wedding night now, but we're really tired.
It's so funny because that's another thing that I remember everyone saying to my husband and I. They were you're never going to have sex on your wedding night. You're never going to have sex on your wedding night. You're so tired. Nobody has sex on their wedding night. And I was the one that I was there is no way after 2 weeks that we're not having sex. I don't care what happens. It doesn't matter. That will happen. And he was near the end of the night, even he was kind of I kind of feel we could. I was no. I waited 2 weeks, damn it, and that's a lot for me. We're done. And he was okay then. And then actually he had a second wind and went out and partied with people that were still hanging out. And I was no, get out. Bye. Which actually is typically our relationship. I'm so much more the man. I'm always let's have sex and then you can go.
Let me just add a disclaimer here. Obviously, the children shouldn't be in the room if you're watching this out there in YouTube land, people. And my mother-in-law often watches this show, so if you're watching, please stop. And we'll go on from here. So,
You haven't
yeah,
said
please.
bad yet to me.
Not yet. Don't watch it.
Not yet.
But speaking of being like the man, I feel like I'm like the man too. Like, I know women are always talking about wanting a man that can just have a long, languid, wonderful lovemaking session, and I'm like, cut, let's do this. You know,
Yeah,
I
no.
got places to be.
Stay away.
The
I'm
word
the same way.
making wants me want to vomit in my mouth. Like, don't make love to me, first of all. Like, fuck me if you're gonna fuck me. Like, I'm sorry, but like, no. Like, and don't be tender. I don't want it to be tender. Like, that's, I am a dude. I'm sorry. Like, there's something wrong with me.
No, there's
Like,
not.
and then I'm literally like, whatever, let's get a beer and watch TV or get out. Like, my husband and I were together in college, on and off. Like, we didn't really date, but we'd do other stuff. And we would, like, hook up. And he would always be like, are you sleeping? Are you going to stay overnight? And I was like, no. Like,
No.
I would leave. And, like, he'd come back to my place, and I'd be like, get out. Like, you can't stay here. You don't got to go home, but you can't stay here. Like,
I don't know about you guys, but I'm too busy. Like, he wants to, like, squeeze it in, like, right after I drop off the kids from school. And, like, I'm like, and if I don't give it to him, he's, like, miserable. So I'm like, let's just get it done. Because I got laundry to fold. I got to get back to the gym. Like, I want to get.
Yeah. And it's not that I hate it when it's happening. Like, I like that. And it feels more passionate and good if it's done quickly. So, especially after kids, I say quickies are the way to go, really.
Well, I mean, I think there's both. I mean, first of all, who says you have to do it once a day is, like, always also my philosophy. If you've got a good day going on, and sometimes you do, like, get a quickie in, and then later on that night, do it again. We've had to have sex in our walk.
Time to have sex twice a day, Celia. Don't put that out in the universe. I haven't done that since I was a teenager.
No, really? That's what playdates are for. That's my
next question. Where do you find time to have the sex? Like, how do you find an opportunity?
Definitely after the kids go to bed, if you can. I mean, you know, I feel like mornings are hard unless it's a weekend. Now my kids are older though, so like my 8, almost 9-year-old will get up and like take her sister downstairs, she's almost 4, and make her breakfast. So like you got some time. But you can like play dates is always good if they still nap. I think nap time. There was a point once where our kids were so needy before we moved out here, and we had this big house as opposed to the apartment. I mean, we're in a 2-floor like condo-y like thing now, but we were like dying. Like it had been at least like 2 days since we'd had sex, which is actually not really like us. And so we were like, how do we have sex? And we put on a movie and went upstairs, and we're like, whatever, we'll just like be upstairs and lock the door, and it was fine. And they they kept bugging us, like the movie didn't work, or they were bored with the movie, or whatever.
Oh.
And finally, we took our laundry into our walk-in closet, and we locked ourselves in the walk-in closet, and they were like, what are you doing there? We were like, we're folding the laundry. It's really boring. Go away. Like that. We put a movie on.
Right. If they think you're doing something interesting, they're gonna come in. So a few times we've been like, we have to talk about some really boring financial business matters.
Here's the financial one.
We're talking about financial things. You need to watch Sesame Street. It'll be much more interesting. And that's worked a few times.
You know what I find also really helps is like you withhold shows from them. Like I will not let my kids watch Monster High or Monster Horror, as I call it, right? Because it's like the worst show. Like it's so gross. And then when we want to like be alone all of a sudden, I'm like, you know what you can watch right now? You can watch Monster Horror. You can watch Monster High. Like, because they'll like be like, what? She's like, they are so like enveloped in the like, you know, thing I never let them watch that there's no way, because they don't want to make a peep because they're afraid I'm going to change my mind. So they'll like sit and watch, you know, half an hour of gross.
That's a very good tactic. Do you have any tactics to do?
Who, me?
You
know what? I guess because my husband and I are both actors, so we have a lot of free time. So it's like the minute Gio's in preschool, I'm like, if we haven't done it in a couple of days, I'm like expected to come home and give him the sex, so he's not a jerk.
I've heard that can be the case. I think I'm the jerk. Like I'm pretty sure it's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if he doesn't get it, forget it. Like, so sometimes may not even be in the mood, and I'm like, I'm just giving it to him because he's being an asshole.
I swear to God, that's me. I think that I'm that person in the relationship. I'm pretty sure it's me. Like,
So it's like asshole prevention.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Marital
it's
sex is asshole prevention.
I am the man. I'm pretty like. I think there are times literally where he's like, "Fine, God, let's just go," and like, if you'll stop it, like, if you'll be nice.
That's so
Nice.
funny.
Yeah, I'll be nice. Oh, we have tweets. Wait, hold up.
Oh, cool.
Oh, people are tweeting us.
Uh-oh. I think I pissed people off already.
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Somebody said to me that they waited 3 days after their wedding to have sex. That's a long time.
Well, after the sex, I want you off of me. I hate cuddling. Ugh, it's too hot. I'm such a dude. Laugh out loud. Oh, did I just say that? Was that me? I'm sorry.
That's so true. Like, you know, there's a term for that. There's like the touched out, they say, especially when you have little ones or you've been nursing, and it's just like things have been on you.
Yeah, you don't
all day.
Yeah, no, that's gross.
No.
I'm with you on that. That's probably
And then,
the only time that I really did not want to have sex at all was like that middle pregnancy was gross. Like you feel gross, you've got like that horrible metal mouth, stuff is coming out of your vagina, you're like, I don't even know what's happening to me, like this is awful, and you just feel horrible, and like you feel like you have a beer gut, and like it's just all I didn't like that. And then like near the end you do get to that point where you're like, this is just weird. Like you want to enjoy it, but you're also like, where's the head of the baby? Like,
oh, I couldn't enjoy that. Yeah, it was like awkward after a while. It's like you can't even find where it's supposed to go, and you're like alone.
right. The mechanics of it are just bad.
Plus, it's like if you're alive, you can really only like get into two positions at that point. You're not even sure you're gonna be able to get up after, and like, you know, and the baby's moving, so like you're also like, oh, this is.
It's like participating, and you can feel it. It's like, is it aware? Does it know it's happening?
Like it's probably like, why? Like it's so, I can't do it.
Why?
I did not like that. And during nursing, definitely like, not the whole time I was nursing, but certainly for like the beginning of it, when it's just like it feels like every 20 minutes, like you're nursing, that you're just like I can't. And I don't know, and not that I judge moms for it. I mean, good for them if they're going to nurse, you know, longer than a year, if you can make it to 2, whatever, however long you make it. But I've always wondered how much that also not only affects your libido, but like, I don't know. I almost like, I feel like dudes aren't allowed to answer this, but I almost want to be like, at what point is that also like, you're like the guy's kind of freaked out? Do you know what I mean? Which I'm sure they can.
Around like 9 months, my husband started like heavily hinting that maybe it's time to wean our son, and I went for much longer, but there was definitely something to that. Like he was not so comfortable with it anymore.
Right. I mean, I think, and I kind of get that, not in a way for a guy, because they can't like relate to it or whatever. But like it is weird because like you're sort of sharing the boobs at that point, like your husband and your kid are sharing the boobs. So like, yeah, I mean, I read about moms that nurse past 2 or 2, even 2, and it's like 2. And even then, I wonder, like, are husbands like, do you look at your wife differently after that? I kind of wonder if they do. Is that weird? And God knows, like, if you nurse a long time, you know, your boobs totally change. So, like, you know. I mean, I nursed up to a year with both of my kids, just about a year. And I feel like I got off scot-free. I mean, I've always been so flat-chested, but my boobs look exactly the same as they pretty much did. Thank God. It's like, after I had kids, I was like, all right, I'm actually kind of cool with being flat-chested, because so many of my girlfriends that, like, nursed for a really long time and had huge boobs, like, can tuck them into their pants.
It's a tragedy. It's a total tragedy.
You know,
speaking of having sex while you're pregnant, I was just reading.
You're just having sex while you were pregnant?
I was just having sex. No, my husband's been away for 3 weeks, so that wasn't happening. But I was just reading this book about natural childbirth. Not that I'm going to have one, but it's just bad up. I'm definitely getting that epidural, but just in case I need more, I'm reading this book about natural childbirth. And you know, the famous Dr. Bradley, he was saying that sex while you're pregnant is really good for you because it starts like loosening up your cervix and getting it all nice and loosey-goosey and ready.
Yes, I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah, that's not true, though. That's been debunked. I know.
Well, luckily, my husband hasn't read this book.
So here's the thing. So that they used to say, what got you into trouble will get you out. That was Dr. Bradley's theory, right? And it will start labor, and there's some sort of enzyme in sperm that will like get you out of it. There was a huge study that was done on that. I'm such a research dork, so like forgive me. While I was pregnant with my second, and I read it. And, like, it was a bunch of female doctors that also did it basically to call bullshit on the male doctors that had never really done research on it, but said, oh, no, this is true.
Oh, they did research. Of course they did research.
Right. Yeah. And, like, the female group did, like, an entire, you know, double-blind focus group, and there was not a it was no different. Like, there was no proof at all to quantify or qualify, for that matter.
So could you email me this study just in case I might need it in the coming months?
Basically, Dr. Bradley was still looking just to get laid, you know, up to the 9 months.
Basically.
Okay.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a good theory. Like, you want it to be true. And the way that it's phrased in that study is, like, brilliant. Because it's like, yeah, what got me into trouble gets me out. And, of course, like, sperm got me pregnant. Sperm will get me unpregnant. Like, no, it totally is not. It's complete bullshit. It's amazing. Yeah.
No, it's more like it's really ironic that what got you into trouble you can't basically have again for several months because of newborn.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like
no, I mean... So. And that's so funny because, like, I feel like women are always on one or the other side of the fence about it, where, like, they're either lying to their husband about how long it can be until they can have the sex again, or they're, like, begging their doctors to clear them, you know, earlier than they're supposed to be. I mean, I had C-sections. I had an emergency C-section with my first, and then the second one was a scheduled C-section, although I went into labor 2 days before the scheduled C-section, so that was annoying. And I really mean that. Like, it was annoying. And I know that's so, like, first world problems, but, like, I had to make peace with the C-section the second time because I really wanted to be back. And I had to make peace with the fact that it wasn't going to happen. And then I went into labor, and I was like, you have to be fucking kidding me. Like, I am paying for not labor, and here I am in labor. And so, anyway, but she came, and I kept thinking, like, oh, when you C-sections, like, of course you must be able to have sex, like, earlier than you can if you had a vaginal birth. Not so, it turns out. No. Because you have stitches and you can't move and you still have stuff coming out of you. Like, you're still a mess. So, no, it's not true. And I, like, I remember after the second one especially, I begged my doctor for the all clear, like, way early. And she was like, first of all, I mean, I think that was the first person I ever was like, you're a dude. Like, she was like, first of all, you're a dude. Like, what are you doing? And second of all, no, because I don't want to restitch you up. So, like, stop. Yeah.
Well, yeah, my first, what do you call it, postnatal doctor's appointment, my husband went with me to the appointment. Big mistake. Because then the doctor right in front of him is like, so... everything's all set. It looks really good there. And then I had no.
You would know out if you wanted one. Yeah. Except nursing. Nursing's always an out, I think, if you really want an out.
Yeah.
But not if you're nursing for like a year or more.
No.
Well, no. But in the beginning, in the early days, and especially, that's the other thing about nursing when you're having the sex, like, in the beginning, where it's like you can't actually even control your boobs. And you're like,
squirt, squirt. Oh, that's scary.
Like, I know this is really, I've got to warn you, like, this is what I'm going to have to do when I orgasm, or you're getting a milkshake. Like, this is gross. Like, it's something.
Milkshake.
Yeah, but some guys like that.
Oh, no. What?
Ew.
Really?
Yeah. Jen, don't you remember that breastfeeding movie we went to see, and they were talking about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
What breastfeeding movie? What?
What was the name of that
There's
thing?
a movie. It's produced by Ricky Lake, and it's
That's
called
right.
Breast Milk the Movie.
Yeah.
The business, not the business of being born.
No.
No, it's her latest. It's a different movie. It's called Breast Milk the Movie.
Yeah. And
Oh, I gotta check it out.
yeah.
I like her.
Yeah. It's cool, but
And
some
do
of it's a
you
little,
want that?
little out there.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get behind a lot of freaky stuff. I don't really. No, I don't think so. Like
No,
that's
I think that would be ideal. Like nature, I don't know. It would be ideal if all the things about pregnancy and breastfeeding were sexy. That would be good. But they're
Do
really
the guys
not.
want the breast milk on them because they're like afraid of pink eye and like they're just hoping you aim right and like okay.
No,
Antiseptic kind of way where it's like hold up like I'll
good for you.
No, I think like in a sexy way.
I don't want to judge anyone. Whatever floats your boat. I don't know. I guess if both people are into it,
Not me, but yeah,
that I feel like it was like so ironic when I was breastfeeding because it was the only time I've ever had tits in my life, and like for at least like the beginning part of it, you know, and it was like, oh my god, but I seriously don't want anyone to touch me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want. I mean, this is like a sick joke that I finally have boobs, and like I don't even want the cat to sit on my fucking lap. Like, get off, you know? Like, of course, that was like what was gonna happen. It's
Well, on that note, we've been talking for a while, and I think we're about out of time.
Oh, well, there you go. We didn't need any tweets. Did we get any? Because I didn't even look.
We got some tweets, but we were having so much fun talking that I'll have to respond. But Mommy R&R and Baby to Be are tweeting us, and thanks guys for watching. Yeah. So, we have, we always have a giveaway every week. We have a giveaway going on the blog for B toys. They're children's toys, not adult toys, like we're talking about tonight. That would be a great giveaway. Anyhow, that's another show. We're going to do another show about Mama's toys. Let's just say that right.
About that. You know, my daughter found my goodie drawer and went through all of my sex toys. It was great.
I'm so intrigued by that story. You don't know. Okay, we're going to hear that another time. But thank you so much for talking with us.
Thanks.
It was great to see you. And
bye, Dina, wherever she went. I think she disappeared.
I must have failed to have sex or not have sex. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.